the youth agenda that has progressively fallen behind in the last 62 years of our independence. Through this MOU, we commit to uphold the Constitution, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Importantly, we pledge to tackle unemployment, cost of living, crippling poverty, inequality, and the failure of the institutions that have been eroded by inefficiency and corruption over the decades.
President Ruto, in turn, spoke highly of Odinga, describing him as a great candidate for the AU Commission role, regardless of the outcome. The president stressed that his support for Odinga was not driven by local politics or future political ambitions, but by a genuine desire to assist a man who has long been a key figure in Kenya's political landscape. Ruto went on to praise Mr. Odinga for his selfless contribution to the country, particularly during times of political crisis.
I want to associate myself with the comments that have already been made by my elder brother, Raila Odinga, on the journey that we have come as our two political formations. When His Excellency Raila Odinga decided to run for the position of Africa Union Commission Chair, it was obvious to me that, number one, as a citizen of this country, I owed him support. And it was also clear to me that knowing him as a Pan-Africanist, as a leader with experience, and that he had immense understanding of issues Africa, he qualified for not just my support, but that of the government of Kenya. And that is why we went out of our way to support his candidature. As he has said, there were many propositions about his candidature. There are those who said my support for Raila Odinga was so that I could exit him from the stage. But there are those also who told me that by supporting the Honorable Raila Odinga and by him being the chair of Africa Union, I will be empowering him so that he can come and compete with me. And I had a very clear answer to them, that my support for Raila Odinga is not conditioned on him supporting me or him surrendering his aspirations for whatever reason. It was very clear to me that this support was deserved as a Kenyan. And I said then, and I will say again, that the Honorable Raila Odinga was a great candidate. He went out of his way. He ran a beautiful campaign, and I am very proud of his candidature.
Right, moving on, leaders from both the UDA and ODM parties, including UDA chairperson Cecily Mbarile and Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga, have defended the recently formed coalition between President William Ruto and Raila Odinga, emphasizing the positive impact it will have on national unity and the welfare of ordinary Kenyans. Speaking in support of the alliance, Mbarile has stressed that no agreements had been made concerning government positions within the coalition. Instead, the focus is on addressing the needs of Kenyans, eliminating ethnic-based politics, and prioritizing issues that directly affect the ordinary citizen. She continued to say Governor Wanga added that the coalition would promote national unity, particularly in matters of governance and public service delivery. She emphasized that the partnership between Ruto and Odinga is crucial for fostering a unified nation that is more focused on the collective interest of the people rather than political divisions.
The unity and stability of this country and the prosperity is not the responsibility of a few. It's the responsibility of all of us as a nation. And while we may have different political persuasions and come from different parts of the country and different schools of thought, nobody can fault unity. Nobody can fault equity. Nobody can fault not leaving anyone behind. Nobody can fault bringing this entire country together and making everybody in this country feel a part of this country. And that is why today this unity effort is appreciated. And I'd like to state it from my own school of thought, that this unity that you have put together today, Your Excellency and my party leader, is not about the two of you. Because Baba here has seen it all. In fact, he has enough for his and all generations. His Excellency, the President, has sat on all positions. So in my thinking, this unity is for the young people of this country. It's for all of us. It's for the women. It's for the marginalized. It's for those Kenyans who have felt like they have never been part of Kenya because have always been left behind. And let me state in conclusion, as the national chairman of the ODM party, and as I say, the largest party south of Sahara and north of River Limpopo, the ODM party, our party leader, and on behalf of this party, officials and members across the country, all 47 branches, we are behind this unity, we are behind this agreement, we will support it, we will support the broad-based arrangement, na tuko pamoja.
It is a great pleasure to be part of this historic event. I want to begin by saying that today we are reminded yet again that the nation will always remain bigger than our individual and party interests. That indeed, at no time will our individual and party interests become more important than those of the nation.
All right, still in matters coalition, a group of legislators from various political factions have expressed support for the cooperation between President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The MPs made their remarks during an academic day at Kamagut High School in Tarbo, Uasin Gishu County, which was presided over by Farouk Kibet, President Ruto's aide. The lawmakers who publicly backed the partnership included Janet Sitenei from Tarbo, Bernard Shinali from Ikolomani, Frederick Ikana from Shinyalu, and Emmanuel Luangwe from Navaholo. Emmanuel Luangwe, a member of the Orange Democratic Movement, praised President Ruto for reaching out to Mr. Odinga and assured the president of ODM's full support.
Sasa tumeona rais wa nchi na Raila Odinga wamekubaliana kupeleka Kenya mbele. Mimi nataka kushukuru, tuwapongeze wao kwa sababu leo hii wamekata shauri kwamba Kenya lazima iende mbele. Tuwapigie makofi. Kuna viongozi wengine huwezi kufanya kazi na wao hata ukitaka. Kazi asubuhi ni ukabila. Akilala ukabila. Akiamuka ukabila. Mimi nataka kuuliza watu ya Kamagut, shetani ashindwe ama asishindwe?
What he is doing, we are fully behind him, we are fully supporting it. Sisi tuna support rais, tuna support yeye kuungana na kufanya kazi na Wakenya wote. Mimi nikiwa mjumbe wa ODM, rais vile alipata nafasi ya kuongoza Kenya, ashakuja Ikolomani mara pili. Hachakui nani wa chama hii, nani wa kutoka sehemu hii.
Yale imefanyika pale Nairobi siku ya leo, kaunti ya Uasin Gishu mahali president anatoka, sisi tunaunga mkono 100%.
Baba akilia, sisi wote tunalia. Baba akicheka, sisi wote tunacheka. Baba akiteleza, sisi wote tumeteleza. Yule anakaa na baba ndiye baba yetu. Na leo tunamshukuru rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ameketi na baba, na sisi kama wanachungwa tunampatia 100% support.
Tunataka kushukuru rais. Alimutetea kule ngambo sana akimtafutia ile kiti, na wakati walikosa tu kwa kidogo, ameweza pia kuchangamuka kuona ya kwamba huyu ndugu yangu sitamuacha. Lazima tutaungana pamoja ili tuendeshe hii broad based government, tusukume Kenya mbele pamoja.
Kwa sababu rais wetu sio binafsi, yeye akaamua hata shughulika na wale ambao wanapiga kelele ya kutaka kugawanya Wakenya kwa misingi ya kikabila na kijamii. Anataka kuunganisha nchi hii yetu yote pamoja ili Kenya isonge pamoja mbele, kila Mkenya apate haki ya kimaendeleo.
All right, moving on. Kenyans have expressed a range of emotions regarding the newly signed agreement between President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga, with some supporting the union while others strongly oppose it. Following the signing of the agreement today, Kenyans, many critics, especially from Odinga's loyal base, argue that the opposition leader has abandoned the ideals of democracy and justice, which many had hoped he would continue to champion. They lament that Odinga, who was seen as a beacon of hope for many Kenyans, has chosen to align with the government instead of standing firm in opposition. Take a look.
Kuwa Prime Minister, tunashindwa ni kwa nini anakuja kupewa kazi. Kwa sababu rais wetu William Ruto alitoa mdomo wake yeye mwenyewe akasema serikali yake haitakuwa na nusu mkate. Sasa sisi wa Kenya tunashindwa. How comes anasema kutakuwa na nusu mkate na koti ya mwananchi ndio itaongezeka juu kuliko vile ilivyo. Na mnaona wazi wa Kenya vile tuko na shida. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuna amani na kuletea kitu kingine hata kidogo. This game ya leo tayari Ruto na Raila wasamaliza. Gemu yote wamechora. Kwa hivyo tuko na uhakika ya kwamba Wakenya tutazidi kuumia, sababu William Samoei Ruto na kundi lake wameamua kumpatia Raila Prime Minister. Kwa hivyo tungeomba tafadhali William Samoei Ruto, kumbuka ahadi ambaye uliahidi wa Kenya, na sasa hatuoni hizo ahadi ulizotuahidia.
Naitwa Ruth Wambui Geshuki. Wameshikana, tunaona uchumi kabisa itapanda kabisa. Vile iko saa hii uchumi imetuweka chini na saa hii itazidi kupanda kabisa.
Naitwa Joseph Kokoi. Shikana kwa Ruto na Raila ndio tunaongoja hata sisi tuone mabadiliko yenyewe itakuwa. Juu sasa Raila kuja kwa Ruto, labda anakuja kutengeneza jina lake na yeye atakuja aende. Awache kama ameharibu ama atengeneze. So sisi hata tunaomba maisha tu ndio imepanda juu sana. So tunaomba hata Raila akikuja pale alilie mambo ya maisha kabisa sana. Sisi watu wa chini tunaumia sana.
Nafurahi kwa sababu ajenda yetu ya Kenya kwanza, ajenda ya Azimio ama ODM ni moja. Walikuwa nataka tuwe na affordable housing, tulikuwa na shida ya vijana wetu kupata kazi na uchumi uinuliwe. Kwa hivyo tumeona ni vizuri kama tunafanya kazi na wao, na jambo moja tu la muhimu ni kama tunakuja pamoja tuwe watu ambao hawana siasa ya ukabila. Hata sisi watu ya hapa Central tungetaka kuwa pale kwa sababu sisi tuko pale kwa serikali ya Kenya kwanza. Kwa hivyo hii kuja kwa President na Raila pamoja ni kuhakikisha hakuna sehemu hata moja ya nchi itawachwa nyuma. Mwananchi ndiye atakuwa na imani kwa sababu tumekuwa watu wa kugawanya wananchi. Lakini tukionekana wale walikuwa kwa uchaguzi wakipingana wako pamoja. Sasa mwananchi anaweza kupigana na yule mwingine na njia gani? Sasa ndio kuonyesha kuna wakati wa siasa na kuna wakati wa kufanyia watu kazi.
Right, it is exactly 19 minutes past the top of the hour. At that note, we take a short commercial break. We'll be back, warning that failure to support the coalition could result in political oblivion. He emphasized that Raila Odinga is not constitutionally required to be the sole opposition figure and that other Kenyans are free to take on the role. Wandai reassured the public that despite the coalition's Parliament's constitutional mandate to provide checks and balances on the government will remain unaffected.
If there is anybody thinking out there that there is any force that can torpedo an arrangement that has been cobbled between ODM and Kenya Kwanza, then you are living in a different world. Yes. you will soon realize that you are irrelevant. But you don't want anybody to be left out. So there's still some small window. Yes, for those naysayers, those saboteurs. Yes. Those vultures that I talked about some 2 weeks ago. Those political vultures that have always wanted to take advantage of Raila Odinga as they profit, as they benefit at a personal level, that the hour of reckoning has come. If there's anybody who was thinking that for this country to move, to survive, that Raila Odinga must be on the streets, then you are mistaken, my friend. It was never envisaged under the Constitution or any other law that for there to be checks and balances, Raila Odinga must be on the streets. We have said no. And we are saying a big no to any such elements who would want to drag Baba Raila Odinga back to the streets. We shall vehemently oppose you. And we shall deal with you politically. I've got the fullest confidence in the National Assembly and the Senate to provide the oversight that the Constitution actually dictates they provide. Many a time as a ministry we appear before the National Assembly and the Senate, up to and including last week. Okay? So we have got the fullest confidence in the institutions established under the Constitution to function optimally. But if there's anybody who still thinks that Raila Odinga or ODM owes anybody an explanation as to whatever political move they have taken, then you are mistaken. Yes. And anybody who thinks that they can play opposition role from outside parliament can do so. Can do so using your political parties, using your vehicles. But for us, we have made a conscious decision.
All right, moving on. The government has reaffirmed its decision to never lift the ban on donkey slaughter, despite growing demand for donkey products in Asian markets, particularly in China. This follows the closure of 4 privately owned donkey slaughterhouses 3 years ago, with officials emphasizing the need to protect the country's donkey population. Speaking after a meeting in Naivasha, Dr. Loyford Kibara, the County Commissioner of Nakuru, highlighted the success of the government's Rapid Results Initiative, which addresses the illegal slaughter and theft of donkeys. Dr. Kibara confirmed that the ban would remain in place, noting that the initiative had been instrumental in curbing the illegal trade.
We are not opening any slaughterhouse moving forward. Like I've said, there is that in declaration, and the populations of those animals are, I think the reproductive system of the same is not like these other animals. So if we continue opening the slaughterhouses to do that business, will make those animals become distinct and will not be to any economic value to our society. The reason we had the RLI was due to increase of the question you have asked, that rampant illegal slaughter and transportation.
All right, moving on. Families in Mirira location, Kigumo sub-county, are urging the government to assist in locating their missing relatives who disappeared last year. Despite extensive efforts, including searching in morgues, hospitals, police stations, and broadcasting appeals on TV and radio, the families have not received any leads after 2 months now. In a desperate move, dozens of residents, including the 5 affected families, gathered to drain the waters of Gatoedhanwa Dam, located within the Mirira Farm Agricultural Training Center in Murang'a County. Their hope was to search the dam for the missing individuals, as part incidents have seen bodies recovered from the water.
Tuko na shida kwa sababu hii dam ilikuwa ya zamani wakati wa gereza mkoloni, na hiyo mkoloni alikuwa akijenga hiyo dam kwa sababu ati anasema ilikuwa ya kulima, na hakulima hata kamwe. Tunataka hii demu ifunguliwe, tusaidiwe na MCA wetu, alikuwa anajaribu kututetea, hakashindwa. Na tunataka asaidiwe, apewa trakta ikuje ifomoe hii dam ili tuwe na amani na tuwe tukifikiria ati watu wetu wasipotei hapa.
Ingekuwa mtoto akang'ata hii demu ingebomolewa. Lakini hawezi kushughulika na sisi watu wa chini.
Tukitaka hii demu ifunguliwe, tunaomba huyu Kang'ata na tunaomba Munyoro, tunaomba serikali yetu ya hapa Murang'a ikuja itufungulie hii demu, sababu watu wetu wamepotelea hapa. Hata kuna watu 5 wamepotea na tumewatafuta, tumewakosa. Tunaona haki yetu itapatikania hapa.
Na mikono yetu imeshindikana. Hatujui mwenye anapanga kurusha watu atarusha kama leo. Tutapata nani mwingine amepotea. Na watu wanazidi kupotea. So tungeomba serikali tusikize na isikue ikikuja kushika tu watu saa ile wanaongea kwa social media, lakini saa ile tuna kilio cha kusaka kusaidiwa hawakimbii.
Niliandikia governor, nikaandikia county government ili tusaidie kutoa maji, kwa sababu hata hii maji iko kwa jurisdiction ya KATC ambayo iko kwa governor. Niseme sijapata barua, lakini nilipigiwa simu na nikaambiwa process inaendelea. On Friday walituma engineer na engineer akaweza kuassess. Lakini ile naweza sema ni kwamba justice delayed is justice denied. Kwa hivyo inaonekana kwamba sisi tukiendelea kugoja nayo moyo yetu inakuwa na kero. Sasa ndio maana watu wamechukua jukumu la kukuja kuweza kutoanisha hii damu ili maji yaende chini.
Right, moving on. Concerned neighbors in Isiolo have come out to ask for assistance from the public to support a 35-year-old man who amputated his own genitals while under the influence of hard drugs to help him undergo a medical reconstruction procedure. The man, who hails from Merti area of Isiolo, is admitted at a local rehabilitation center and is the second such case that the facility has handled in 1 year, according to Collins Shaban, a lead psychiatrist at the center. The man, whose name is concealed for privacy, is currently receiving treatment at Better Me Rehabilitation Center in Isiolo. Shaban said that the patient underwent a drug test and was found to have been excessively abusing miraa, bang, that is cannabis, Chavez, tobacco and antipsychotic drugs.
Alifanyiwa matibabu. Sasa ana ako bila. Sasa hiyo kijana ni maskini, hana chochote. Mimi vile unaniona hivi hapa, mimi ni msamaria mwema tu, hakuna kitu tunahusiana. Lakini from the siku ya kwanza up to now, mimi ndio nasimama na yeye na msaidia venye naweza. Kuna wengine watu wamejitolea tu kumsaidia wakiwa Meru. Sasa mimi wakati tulitoka Meru wakadischarge yeye, mimi nilisema wacha nipeleke hapa kwa hii rehab, kwa sababu alifanyiwa operation. Juu hata nikimwacha hakuna mwenye atamshika, ataenda kurudi kwa ile chafu yake, kinonda iharibike, iingiliwe na infection, akufe tu vibaya. Nandai hata 95,000 pesa ya mwezi 3. So mimi naomba kama kuna msamaria mwema kama mimi ama mwenye hii story itamgusa, Mungu atatulipa. Alafu saa hii anauliza iko wapi hiyo kitu yangu juu akijika.
Right, it is exactly 32 minutes past the top of the hour. That note, we wrap up our bulletin here at EBN Weekend Edition on this 7th day of March 2025. Do have yourself a lovely night. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Laura Omondi. Martin Macharia is my name. And let's meet again when God says we do.